Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Heidi and I thought we could do some mood reading this week. A little bit of kind of background context to this. I got into a car crash a couple days ago. It wasn't great, but definitely could have been worse. And it was one of those moments where like afterwards for like 2 days I didn't read. And then I almost felt like I was in a slump because I was kind of depressed. I just kind of realized like life is too short to read books you don't want to read. And while I try really hard to stick to my TBR, especially my TBR that I pick from my jar for each month, I'm not feeling any of the books that I picked for April, to be just fully transparent with you. So there are a lot of just fun palette cleanser, I don't want to say like brain off books, but books that just bring me a lot of joy and make me happy, and ones that I don't really have to think too much about. And I feel like that's just really what I need right now. I need something that's going to kind of get me out of my funk, bring a little bit of joy into my life and just simplicity, and bring me back to worlds that I love. Some of these are standalone books, some of these are books as part of series, and I have a couple in mind already that I've just kind of been picking up on and off for the past day or so, just to kind of try to get out of this reading slump / mental funk, and I thought it'd be fun if we did it together. It's currently Saturday, and God bless, it was one of those weekends that I had no plans. So I didn't have to cancel anything in order to just kind of mentally recoup. It was like the universe aligned in negative ways and also positive ways. And I'm just taking this nice, relaxing, no plans weekend as just my sign to just read and just have fun with reading. No plans, no expectations, no page counts, no specific books I need to be reading. I'm just gonna have a good time. I have nothing to do today, so let's go mood read. Also, it's not like I could go anywhere. I have no car anymore, so like the stars aligned. This is exactly what my introverted self wants at the end of the day, is to just not have to go anywhere. I guess careful what you wish for, but also like I guess it's a good thing that I'm an introvert who likes to stay at home and read. It could have been a lot worse. I don't feel trapped, at least, so that's good. I do already have some TBR options in mind for this week. I'm just gonna take a look at my TBR cart and see what I have that I haven't read. I have a lot of physical books, so really I have a lot of options. I am in the middle of a couple books on my Kindle and physically that I'll include on this, but I kind of just want to get some inspirations and ideas from my TBR cart. So these are all the books that I should be reading right now, but obviously like Babel is brain on. I think Princess Bride is maybe just a little bit too light for what I'm looking for. Honestly, a whole different topic. I'm not enjoying this, so I don't want anything that's gonna put me into a reading slump. And I would love to read Daisy Hates, but the font is so small in these editions, and I need something that's a little bit easier on my brain right now. So won't be reading any of those. I am in the mood to start Keeping 13, so okay, maybe that's an option. I'm really excited for this one. Let's see, I also think Next of Kin, maybe just a nice fluffy romance. Side note, I don't like that this one is glossy. All of her other books have a matte cover. I wish they would republish that, but anyways, I do want to read this one before reading her other books because I do feel like they connect a little bit. I could be wrong, but I enjoyed Out on a Limb and I wanted to read this one before I read Out of the Woods. Let's see what other options we have. Ready or Not has been on my kind of spring want to read, and I feel like that would probably be an easy one for my brain right now. I also want to read Guncle, but I feel like I have heard it's a little sad, and I think it's gonna be so good. I just want to be in a little bit better of a mood when I read that one because I don't want my current mood right now to kind of impact that. Any down here that maybe look like easy brain off books? Ooh, Loathe to Love You by Ali Hazelwood. This is like a collection of 3 short stories from her, so that actually might be a really good one because I can just kind of pick it up and put it down. Okay, I'm gonna add that one to the pile. Nothing that's really catching my eye. Let's take a look at the other side of the cart. Right, yes, my TBR cart is double stacked. Crazy, I'm aware. I've heard some iffy things about this book, but to be honest, it kind of looks good. So I might, what does the font look like on this one? That's doable. That might be an option. I don't know if I'm feeling it 100%. Any other books here that might be a good option? Oh, Howl's Moving Castle. Okay, because I know it's technically a children's book, so my brain could definitely process this. And I've been wanting to read this for a while, so I'm gonna add that to the list. Eyes on Me is definitely a smut book. There's nothing easier to read than smut. And I've honestly, this year, not read too much smut, like at all, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Maybe it's time. I'm 25 books into the year. I kind of feel like I should be, you know, maybe one, Yeah, we're gonna add it. Okay, Sally Rooney's a little tough for me to wrap my brain around sometimes, so we're gonna skip that. Forget Me Not, I heard is good. Always can go with a good Frida McFadden. Legends and Lattes could be an option. I don't know if I'm feeling that one right now. Maybe The Fake Mate? Okay. Yeah, I think this could be cute. Oh, it's a signed edition. That's pretty cool. Okay, this is a pretty solid spread. I do have one of the Clicanian books in progress right now, so I'm probably gonna start with that. And I'm also gonna throw Queen of Shadows in here because I'm in the middle of that reread, and this might be a good time because nothing gets me out of a reading slump like this series. I freaking love this series, but yeah, those are my options, I think, for right now, but obviously we are mood reading, so this could change in the blink of an eye. We'll see. Okay, and then just to show you what I'm working on outside of that maybe tentative TBR, I'm currently reading The New York Charm by Riley Winters. It's really cute so far. I'm really enjoying it. I think she's very descriptive, which I enjoy. She's very show, not tell, and I relate to the main character a lot. As of right now, they're just getting ready to go out. She just moved to New York. She's more of an introvert, and her new roommate is getting her all dolled up, and she's like, okay, let's go take a shot. And she's like, my confidence that I felt after being all dolled up immediately plummeted the moment that her roommate was like, we need to go take a shot. And I thought that was so relatable because I always loved dressing up and feeling confident like at college parties, but then the moment somebody said like we need to go take a shot, my energy would plummet, my enthusiasm for the night out would plummet. I don't know, I just find the main character very relatable. I started it last night, kind of easy on my brain. It's not because of lack of content, it's just the writing style. It just scratches an itch in my brain and it's easy to read. So I'm really enjoying this so far. Also, the actual cover of this book, the pink and the blue, so cute, but I need to be using my Kindle more. So I was like, okay, I'll just do it on Kindle to kind of encourage myself to read more on here because it is new and I've only read like a couple books on here. So I really need to utilize this more and not just when I'm traveling. And then I'm also reading Saving Viraco. This is the third book, I believe, in the Clicanian series. I love this series and I also love Ice Planet Barbarians, and this is very similar. So if you love Ice Planet Barbarians, but you've kind of finished that series and you're looking for another like alien extraterrestrial romance, this is a really good series, the Clicanian series. I believe the first book is called Choosing Theo, and I really enjoyed that one. I was hooked from the start. They are more human-esque, so if Ice Planet Barbarians was a little bit too weird for you because they're blue, they're all human. So obviously I did not get the discrete covers. I bought the whole series because I was obsessed, and then I found out she was releasing, like slow releasing discrete covers, which look really cool by the way, but all of my covers have half naked men on them, which really, honestly, who cares? Whatever. I usually finish these books in a day, so it's not like I'm bringing them anywhere. And they're also on Kindle Unlimited, by the way. So if you want to utilize your Kindle more for books like this, there's an option. But I'm about halfway through this one. Again, I literally finish each of these books in like a day whenever I just sit down and read them. Every storyline is so different, but the concept is similar to Ice Planet Barbarians, where these girls are getting taken from Earth and kind of like black market trafficked into the universe, and they're getting rescued by this planet, and all the men on this planet, it's so cool. The ratio is like 1 to 20 when it comes to like female to male population, so their planet is really low on females and fertility, so they value females very highly. So all the men have to go to what they call a husbandry school. So they learn how to cook, they learn how to clean, they learn how to give massages, they learn how to make floral bouquets, they learn just how to be a good husband and also how to be a caretaker of children. Each story is like a really good slow burn. It's actually not as like smutty as you would think. Just an easy read. So that's what I'm gonna be doing today. I think I'm gonna be doing this one first, and then I'll switch to the New York Charm after, just cause kind of like bounce back and forth. They're both very distinct plots, so it's easy to keep them separate. Good morning. I finished Saving Rocca last night, and then we went out for dinner, and then I came back and read a little bit more. This was really good. It wasn't my favorite in the Clickanian series, but what I love about this series is every single book is set on a different part of Clickania, which is this, you know, intergalactic planet somewhere non-existent, obviously. But the first book, the main girl that it focuses on, lives a little bit outside of this main city, Tremanta. In the second book, the girl lives in the city of Tremanta, which is really cool because their technology and science and just kind of way of living and lifestyle is so cool to me. It's so different. And then this one was set on in a desert city. That's where this main character is from. He was green. That was kind of interesting. I actually didn't mind it. So this wasn't my favorite because they were basically like roughing it the whole time out in the wilderness, but I still enjoyed getting to see different parts of the planet and just being back in this world. I don't know, I grew up watching Star Wars, Avatar, the one with the blue people, and this weird show called The Future is Wild, I think is what it was. And I think just the idea of like being on an alien planet where there's wildlife that doesn't exist, it just feels fantasy-like, but a little bit more sci-fi, obviously, and I enjoyed that. I think it's also why I enjoyed Crescent City a lot, because it is more sci-fi, like a balance of sci-fi and fantasy. But I love these because it's fated mates, which is a trope that I really enjoy, but it's like fated mates in a Star Wars setting. It's so cool to me. So I know I put together like a giant stack of books that I was potentially going to read this week, but I literally could not leave this world, so I ended up picking the fourth book in the Clickanian series, and I read 213 pages of this one last night. Probably stayed up a little bit too late. This one is really good. This is set in another city that we haven't experienced yet in this world. It's like a forest city, a lot like in Avatar, the first Avatar movie. The people who live there are a little bit different than the people who live in the main city, and each city is run by a queen. They definitely are a matriarchal society, which is really cool, but every queen kind of has different values on how to treat the humans, the rights that the humans have, and everyone who lives in Tremanta has the most rights, and then the other cities, their respect goes down for the humans and their control goes up over what the humans can and cannot do and the rights that they have. So politically, the world that she built in this series is very impressive. I'm also starting to get the feeling that there's a woman that we've met in every single book, a different woman tied to each city that isn't the queen, but you kind of wonder if they're eventually going to become the queens and kind of just set a new generation of standards for how humans should be treated if they're ever brought to this planet. So it's very interesting. There's a ton of books in this series, so I don't know where it's gonna go, but I'm really enjoying this one. It's fake dating trope, fake marriage, enemies to lovers a little bit. I have about 150 pages left, so I'm gonna probably finish this today and maybe read a little bit on my Kindle. Probably going to pick up The New York Charm again, just because it's enough, you know, sci-fi romance for the day. But I did end up reading 471 pages yesterday, which is awesome. I was definitely behind on my reading goal for April when I started filming this. 471 pages, finished a book, 2 books, at least 2 books this weekend, and maybe I'll finish The New York Charm today. So that's 3 books in a weekend. Not really mad about that. Also, I mean, this is just a clear example of my love for sci-fi and Star Wars and that whole world, so these books make a lot of sense if you know me. One of the things that I love about this series is forced proximity friendship. I feel like nobody talks about this. Obviously, it kind of goes hand in hand with found family, but sometimes like your found family becomes your found family because you literally have no other option. It's not just like that the stars aligned, and there's about 24 women who get brought to this planet, and they're kind of in a sanctuary and like a rehabilitation center, if that makes sense. They find ways to immediately find camaraderie in their situation. They're so supportive of one another. They bond over Earth concepts that Clickania doesn't understand, like something as simple as like a sleepover. These 2 girls want to have a sleepover because they're both stuck in the city, and the city put them in completely different places of the city so they can't even like visit each other. So they're like, okay, let's just have a sleepover. And the alien says, sleeping over, as it turned out, included large quantities of alcohol, loud off-key singing, and the full spectrum of emotion. It's so heartwarming. Obviously, this is like a romance first, but don't sleep on the friendship in this book series. I love it so much. Every single girl has a different background. Some of the girls came from terrible home situations on Earth, so they actually feel like being on Clickania is like a second chance at life and a clean slate. While there are other people who they left behind their partners, their family, their dream job. Nobody's left behind a pet yet, but that would almost be more devastating. But there's also this really, really cute animal in this book, and oh my gosh, it's adorable. This animal like basically like imprinted on this girl and saved her life, and now this animal is so protective over her. It's freaking adorable. I'm obsessed. I literally cannot stop smiling when reading this book. The world is so beautiful. The politics, they're having like games right now, like imagine like Roman Colosseum games. It's so interesting. These two girls are movie buffs. They love movies, but obviously Clickania doesn't have movies, and so they're trying to reenact a movie right now, and they just started belting out Circle of Life. Like they're reenacting The Lion King. That's so fucking funny to me. Like how, like that's just so wholesome. They're also acting out a male exploring ancient landmarks and for some reason wielding an animal skin whip. I'm guessing that's Indiana Jones. The amount of movie references in this particular book makes me think that Victoria Aveline is a big movie buff. It's so funny. I just want to be friends with these girls. Oh, so the animal that saved her, guys. The animal that saved her rolls up into like a ball, like a roly-poly, and just doesn't leave her alone. So when she was out in the wilderness, she named the animal Wilson, like the volleyball. Turns out Wilson's a girl. And she's like, Kevin's a girl? And he's like, you're calling it Wilson. She's like, it's a movie reference. So cute. This might be my favorite. This one, and I think the second one. I don't know, they're all good. Okay, seriously, this world is amazing. So they live in this like insane forest where the trees are like skyscraper high. So the canopy covers like sunlight, rain, like they really don't know what time of day it is, but they're able to like go to the top of the canopy, and there's like these floating cruisers that you can rent out, and they have sunbathing areas, kitchens, and a small like shallow pool. So basically just like little private cabanas that float on top of the canopy. And so they rented one, and they're just like relaxing because they're like trapped in the city right now. And he says he finally understands why some people enjoyed doing nothing. Nothing, if done with the right person, was like a balm for the soul. I love that. Also, I want to sit on a pool canopy thingy. I have no idea what it is, but it sounds fun. I have 40 pages left, and I take back everything I said about the fated mates thing because I have 40 pages left and they're not mates yet. So Victoria, what's happening? What's going on? This is my favorite couple so far. 4 books in. Why aren't they mates yet? I just want to know. Not the third act breakup. No. Honestly, here's the thing. I usually hate the miscommunication trope, but with aliens, it's okay because different cultures, different worlds, different languages, like there's bound to be some miscommunication. Like in the real world, disgusting. In fantasy world, still disgusting because like y'all still are from the same world. Alien though, love that miscommunication trope. It's the only time I not only like don't get the ick from it, but I'm like eating it up. Literally the last page. About time. I freaking love this world. I just finished. This was so good. I think this might have been one of my favorites out of the series. Definitely better than the third one, in my opinion. I don't know. I just loved it. I love this story. I think, officially done with Clickania for now, so I'll probably go read a more normal book after this. But I'm gonna do a little brain break from reading because I've been reading for quite a while. I am listening to the audiobook for The Fall Risk by Abby Jimenez. Really cute so far. It's a novella, so it's only like a couple hours long for the audiobook, but I've been doing that at the gym, just trying to keep energy levels low and not strain myself at the gym while I'm still kind of healing. My back is pretty stiff, but I've been doing like a lot of walking on the gym. I did 2.5 miles the day before yesterday on the treadmill, so that felt good, but I tend to do audiobooks and not music if I'm doing low impact exercises. And I was really enjoying that audiobook. I will be honest, Say You'll Remember Me, I DNF'd it temporarily. I'm not really loving it, but The Fall Risk was really cute, so I think I might maybe finish that audiobook today, just to kind of get me back into a little contemporary romance vibe, and then maybe I'll pick up one of the books I picked out yesterday. Honestly, the reason that I wasn't interested in any of these last night was because like the bright lights, I just wasn't like wanting to have like all my lights on in order to read, and the font in all of these books is really small. Like the font in this is huge, so it was easy to read. These, I like opened every single one of them, and the font was teeny. Anyways, yeah, I'll probably pick one of these up in a little bit. But I think we're gonna go putz around town, do some book shopping, got some plants and some herbs, and then yeah, probably just read the rest of the day. So I'll check back in if I have a reading update. Good morning. It is Tuesday. I didn't check in yesterday. I'm running a big work conference this week, and so we kicked off yesterday, and I actually had to go pick up a car, and I had a doctor's appointment in the evening, so I really didn't have too much time to read yesterday. I did a little bit of audiobook on Monday, but on Sunday I ended up reading 252 pages, so I finished Tempting Azad, and I also read about 100 pages of The New York Charm. I am loving it. It is giving like People We Meet on Vacation for me. Like the main character, Poppy, in People We Meet on Vacation was so relatable, and I'm feeling that same way with Dylan in The New York Charm, so really enjoying it so far. I'm ready for like a little bit more tension in the characters, and like right now they're just like trying to figure out like what the heck is going on with their jobs and everything, but I'm ready for there to be like some romantic tension. But it is a second chance romance, and I am really enjoying it so far. But I gotta go back to kicking off this conference, and hopefully I will have some more reading time in the evening, because I would love to finish The New York Charm, I'd say by tomorrow, so I can start plugging away at my reading goal for April, for the rest of April. Talk to you later. So big day. We are going car shopping after work today. My car was officially totaled, unfortunately. I thought they were going to be able to salvage it. They were not, which is great because in this economy, you know, who wouldn't be buying a car? Anyways, I just haven't had much time for reading. It's been like hours and hours a day, I feel like, just navigating the whole car search process, and then after looking at what feels like the same car a billion different ways, you're just brain dead. So, but we're gonna go drive to the dealership. I think we found a car that would be good, potentially. I still have to do the drive test and everything, but it's kind of a long drive. So my lovely boyfriend is being my chauffeur. He's amazing. So that means I get to be passenger princess and read along the way. So I am bringing my Kindle. I am still about halfway through The New York Charm. It's really great so far. And I did finish the audiobook at the gym yesterday of The Fall Risk by Abby Jimenez. So cute. It did exactly what a novella should. It had multiple different conflicts that weren't too crazy, but it was just enough to make the story feel layered and not very like one-dimensional like a lot of novellas are. And then by the end, the conflicts that were brought up were resolved, but it was still left very open-ended with the characters. I feel like novellas that don't do well are novellas where they try to wrap up every single loose end. They try to give like 5 years later, happily ever after. Like, I don't need the 5 years later. Honestly, I don't even need like the 6 months later. I just need whatever conflict was happening in the novella to be resolved. But otherwise, like, I don't need to know about these characters' lives and what else is happening in it. I just kind of wanted a short story, and it did exactly what I needed it to do. So I highly recommend. I don't normally give 5 stars to a novella, but for what it was, that was a 5-star novella. Look at these absolutely beautiful flowers my boyfriend's sister sent me, kind of just like, sorry that your car is totaled, and seriously so beautiful, so thoughtful. They just showed up last night, and like seriously, like what even are these flowers? These are so stunning, and I don't know what these particular flowers are right here, but I love them so much, and I've never seen them in this pink color. They're so beautiful, but that was literally the sweetest thing ever. So thankful for his family and just all the support they've been giving. This is just absolutely the sweetest thing. So we got back from the dealership. It was good. The car was almost perfect. Had some flaws, so we're not jumping the gun. We're gonna keep shopping around. I only had my rental car for 2 days because insurance is annoying, and they're only gonna give me my rental car for a couple days. So annoying. Yeah, I have no car, so unfortunately it kind of puts on the pressure to like buy a car. I intended for this week to be so restful, and I feel like all the rest that my body is getting, my brain is just working overtime, double time to compensate. It's just endless phone calls, endless just looking at cars constantly. It's just annoying. It's like this, it was not my fault, 0% my fault. And there's so much hassle. And it's so expensive. It is what it is, but that's why books exist. You can just escape from reality. I want to hear about what life is like in New York where you don't need a car, because that would be great. Like at this point, I just wish subways were like all over the US, because if I didn't have to drive, like think about like how much you could get done on the subway. You could read, like I can't read on the drive.
can't work on the drive. Sometimes I can listen to an audiobook, but honestly, Dallas traffic is so bad. It's like you need to like be hyper focused on every single thing happening around you. But it just makes me way more thankful for my books. Still working on The New York Charm, really enjoying it so far. I don't think I'm gonna finish it tonight, but I really wish I were because I need to work on some other books. Kind of ready for like fantasy. Maybe I'll jump back into Throne of Glass, Queen of Shadows. Honestly, I just feel so brain dead. It's like reading is hard. That's so sad, but it is. I love when authors describe scenes that aren't necessary, but it's creative enough that it adds an element of realism to the story. So there's this line: she sits on a nearby flimsy cardboard box, which slowly crumbles under her weight until she's resting on the floor. That sounds like such an Emily Henry line. Like, it's not necessary. Like, you could have just said she sat on a cardboard box, but it had to crumble under her weight until she's resting on the floor, which is almost more defeating because she's exhausted already. Like, it's showing, it's not telling. I love that. For a debut author to have nailed that down, an indie author, I believe this is an indie author, huge kudos. There are traditionally published authors who've published several books and still don't understand that. I'm really impressed by The New York Charm. I do get the feeling the author is like almost writing about herself in a way. We have this marketing agent who is supporting this debut author. I believe she's debut. It's kind of the feel I'm getting. And she's just saying like, this is everything she's been working towards. What if people don't like it? And the marketing agent is just encouraging her. I feel like this is like a book that's written from the perspective of a debut author in a lot of ways, but it's also a book written for debut authors. And honestly, just a book written for anybody chasing their dreams. You know, acknowledging that fear of failure, acknowledging the fear of criticism. You know, this is your baby. How are people going to feel about it? And what's that going to do to your self-esteem? But then also still pursuing what you love. And she says, I think what you're doing is incredibly brave. Putting yourself out there is extremely vulnerable. And I see your passion in what you're doing. I really like that. Okay, so I had one of the weird urges today to pick up a book that has been on my physical TBR for literally at least 3 years minimum. I've owned this book for so long, and I heard people like love the series but hate the book, and I think it just put me off. I was like scared that I wasn't gonna like it. I wasn't in the mood, and then all of a sudden today I was like, I'm in the mood for this book, and that is Twisted Love. I have only read one other book by this author, and that was Striker. And to be quite honest with you, I actually loved that book. I don't know why people hate on it so much, but that was my first impression of an Anna Huang book, and I really had a great time. Was it a little bit too long? Yes. But I really liked the main character, so honestly, no complaints. I think it maybe just made me brave to like go into this. I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm about halfway through. I've been reading it and then switching to the audiobook when I was at the gym today. It hasn't really been spicy. I'm pretty much exactly halfway through, and then like halfway through my workout, it was getting spicy. It just felt really awkward to be like doing squats and listening to Spice. So turned it off, listened to some Hozier instead. But I highly recommend listening to audiobooks at the gym. I just started doing this recently. It's just been such a tough week with everything going on. I feel like I've barely had time to just sit down and read. And when I have had time to sit down, I'm so mentally exhausted from just being on phone calls with insurance, going to car dealerships and everything that, I don't know, this has just been a really big audiobook month. And I'm not mad about it. Like, I am living off of novellas right now. I've listened to so many of like the Meet Cute series novellas, and to be honest, they're pretty good. I've listened to The Fall Risk by Abby Jimenez, which was a 5-star, and then I did The Worst Wingman Ever by Abby Jimenez. I gave that a 3.5. It was a novella. It wasn't the worst novella I've ever read, but most novellas are around 3s for me. I feel like The Fall Risk was like a pretty abnormal rating for what I normally give novellas. And then I also did The Exception to the Rule. That was really cute too. I almost wish it were longer. It was one of those novellas that I was like, okay, this actually could have been a novel. I'm very interested in this kind of like plot line. But yeah, I've just been like plowing through those because they're only like an hour and a half to 2 hours each, and that's about all my brain could take this week. Finally was feeling brave enough to pick up an actual book, and I'm really enjoying it so far, but it did get a little spicy, so we're gonna see. That's like the perfect brain off kind of chapter to start the night on. I love it. Do you ever just get overstimulated by your clothing? Because I just had a moment. I was like stuck in my cardigan. It's like when you get stuck in the sheets and you can't get out. He has a mouth on him. I don't know if I'm about it. I kind of like it better when he's silent and brooding. I don't normally skip spicy chapters, but maybe I'm turning a new leaf. Or maybe this just isn't my kind of spice, but not loving it. Not loving it. He keeps calling her the W word. I don't love it. It's not my thing. You do you, girl. Whatever gets you going. I kind of take back everything I said. I don't love this. The first 150 pages were good. What is happening? I don't want him to use her. I want them to love each other. Like guys who are like, girls only like to read smut. You do realize like 90% of the time it is the tension that leads up to the smut. It is the pining that leads up to it. It is the yearning. It is the not realizing they're in love with each other, but they actually are in love with each other. So when they finally get down to business, it could still be like freaky, but they still love each other. Like there's love there. I'm not getting the love. I'm not feeling the love tonight, if you know what I mean. This is not my thing. Teddy! Hi! What are you doing? Come here. Hi! Oh, hi. How are you? There's not much room up here. There's not much room up here. You really want to be up here. You can't just barge in here and open the door. He just barged in and opened the door. Like, that's what he does. Do you want to come snug? Is that what you're trying to tell me? All right. Yeah, just make yourself at home, I guess. Watch me move to close the door and he's gonna take my... Okay, Lady McQueen. He is such a goober. No way he just finished twice in like 3 minutes. No way. No man. No way. Already preparing himself for the next round. Bro, take a friggin' nap. Okay, that's cute. He said the rules don't apply to you. That's cute. Okay, I want it from her perspective because that was like cringe. Okay, so I have about 100 pages to go. I'm not gonna like do any spoilers, but I just hate it when like the bad guy gets caught. They just admit their whole plan, every evil thing that they've done, they admit it all. It's just so like, and I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids. Like, it's so Scooby-Doo. It's so cheesy. I hate it. Like, show don't tell. When you go on for like 4 pages about this like evil person's just monologue about all the evil things that they've done, how they planned their evil ploys, and I just, like, it's just bad writing, it's bad plot development, and it just feels very Deus Ex Machina, where you needed this conflict, you needed a villain, and so you created a situation where the villain would just admit everything that they had done. It's just like, what? No, like, innocent until proven guilty. Like, they're not just gonna like admit everything the first time you ask. That's just not realistic. Maybe like in extreme narcissistic cases where they want the credit, there are like a lot of like legitimate sociopaths and psychopaths who did evil things and didn't get caught for so long because they didn't say it outright, that then they started dropping hints because they actually wanted the credit for the evil thing that they did. That is realistic. Like, they still drop hints even if they want the credit because they're a narcissist. But no evil person just like the moment you're like, hey, by the off chance, did you do this thing? And they're like, took you long enough, yeah, and here's my 10-page plot of how I did it. It just, yeah, I'm kind of understanding why people don't like this book.
I am done with Twisted Love for the night. I have about 80 pages left. I'm just like not loving it, but I'm getting kind of tired. I'm probably only going to be up for like another half hour. And I'm going to start The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. This cover, honestly, I'm so excited to just see like what the purpose of this cover is. It's very biblical, which is weird, but it kind of matches the vibe of her Magnolia Parks indie covers, which is so cool. I love that she's kind of sticking with that theme. This is just automatically a way cooler cover than the Magnolia Parks new traditionally published covers. I will die on that hill. Her indie covers are 8 billion times better. I'm really excited to read this. I'm buddy reading it with my friend Yaz, and I'm a little behind, so I just want to get started. It's on Kindle Unlimited, which is fantastic. So I intentionally did not purchase this book when I saw it at the store because I knew I wanted to read it on Kindle. But if I love it, I will be buying it, of course. But I hope you all have a good night. We'll talk tomorrow. Almost done. There's like a whole third act breakup thing going on. I'm not loving it, but it's a book. Right now it's sitting at probably like a 3-star. Like it feels like the Chestnut Springs of mafia romance. Easy to read, easy to digest, not super complex, not like incredibly believable love story. We did get to meet Reese Larson, I think his name is. He's the bodyguard. I'm really kind of interested to read that plot line. I've heard that one's better, but I am gonna take a break and I'm gonna continue reading The Conditions of Will because I started it last night. I'm about 25 pages in, not far at all. I think like 4 chapters, but it's really interesting so far. Nothing has happened really, but the writing is good and the main character is very interesting. She's like Magnolia, but currently a little bit more bearable, which I appreciate because I'm not a Magnolia lover. She's like a combination of Magnolia and Daisy right now. The main female character in The Conditions of Will is so hyper fixated on reading people's faces and like recognizing if their emotions are genuine or not, and I'm really interested. I feel like I'm learning so much about human interaction through this. I'm trying so hard to not buy books physically that are on Kindle Unlimited, but this is one. Like I'm like highlighting literally everything. This is something I want to like come back to and like study, and I want to highlight everything that is like psychology and body language based, and then I just want to highlight like other things for like beauty. I wish I could like change the highlight color on these and like have it mean different things. It's so interesting. I'm like, why is this so good? I want to know like how long she's been writing this, because either Jessa Hastings already has a lot of knowledge around like human interaction, body language, and psychology, or she did a ton of research. I honestly don't know, but I feel like this would have taken for freaking ever to write. All right, so I just finished reading Twisted Love. It was a book, and I see why a lot of people don't like this book. Like, this is one of those where like people collectively don't like this book. I've been led astray by book talk so much where people are like, this book is so great, and then I read it and it's trash. Like, actually so criminally overhyped. And then I read The Striker by her, which I really loved, but a lot of Anohang readers don't like that book. And I was like, okay, well, if I liked the book that they don't like, I'm definitely gonna like the book that they do like. No, this was very bad. Started off so strong, it just got so bad. The plot pacing started off fine, and then it got so bad. There was not one but 2 villains. 2 villains that you didn't even know there was supposed to be a villain, and then there ended up being 2 villains, and then they both confessed to their crimes without like any pressure, and then there was like 17 epilogues. Chapter 42, 2 months later. Chapter 43, 2.5 months later. Chapter 44, 1 year later. And then there was an epilogue, and then there was a bonus scene. Like, why? Like, let's just wrap it up. And also the spice scenes. I love a dark romance. I don't consider this dark romance, but I feel like it was trying to be. And I'll be honest, in dark romance books, there's like more than just lust. Like, a lot of times there's love between the characters. There was just lust here. I wasn't like already feeling it. And then it was like degradation, which is not my thing. Degradation, but he loves her. I can probably put up with that. But degradation just for the sake of lust, not my thing. I really did not like this. It started off and I was like, This has the potential to be just like a 4-star basic, like good time romance. I gave it a 2.5. My review is kind of scathing, but that's all I'm gonna say about it right now because y'all have been kind of watching my thoughts unfurl. But I'm actually going to wrap up this reading vlog here because good news, I got a car. Yay! I'm so excited. Actually, if you guys remember, I was like talking about how I went and saw this car and it was nearly perfect, but it had some problems, like the paint was coming off and everything. Just living in Texas, like if the top coat is chipping, the sun is just gonna eat right through that paint and your car is gonna be ruined within a year. I ended up finding, after hours and hours of searching, and God bless Kyle, he was like a man on a mission looking for a car for me. I probably wouldn't have a car right now if it weren't for him. We ended up finding the exact same car, but a better model and a better year with better mileage for less, which is literally crazy because as you all know right now, car shopping is, I mean, this is literally the worst time in America. You could go get into a car crash and then, which by the way, wasn't my fault. I don't know if I said that, but I was at 0% fault, which is really, really shitty because there's nothing I could have done about it. And obviously, you know, nothing's free. So I still had to pay a lot of money for this car. And I'm telling you guys right now, if you live in the US, this is not the time to go car shopping. It's just not. Blessing in disguise. Yes, I had to like cough up some cash for it, unfortunately, but it is what it is. I'm really thankful. I feel very safe in this car. I feel like it's really easy to drive and I'm just like, I'm proud of it. Like this is my first really big girl purchase. I learned so much from this whole car process. I feel like I've grown up a little bit more. This has been a great week of rest and recovery and resetting. I read so much and not in the ways that I expected. I read, and there is a caveat to this, I read 8 books this week. However, one, this was not a normal week at all, clearly. Number 2, half of these books were audiobooks. And number 3, the other half were novellas. I didn't have much like mental capacity to just like dive into a 500-page plus book with size 2 font. I didn't have like the bandwidth to do that. So the books that I stuck to were short books that I could just kind of do quick doses of, or audiobooks. I went to the gym a lot just to kind of burn off some energy because it's just kind of been stressful. And I ended up doing audiobooks while working out. Honestly, I never thought would work. To work out, I need to get like amped up. I'm actually way more focused on my workout with audiobooks than with music because with music I just zone out. Audiobooks I have to stay engaged, which keeps me engaged in my workout. I did read Saving Viraco and Tempting Auzed, the 3rd and 4th book in the Clicanian series. I jumped into the Meet Cute novella universe. I did The Fall Risk by Abby Jimenez and Worst Wingman Ever by Abby Jimenez. Both of those are really good. The Fall Risk was a 5-star. I really, really loved that book. And I also read The Exception to the Rule, which is part of the Meet Cute series as well, and that was really cute. I do wish it were longer, but I actually surprisingly enjoyed it. I didn't start this week, but I did finish A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I'll be honest with you, did not enjoy that book. Chapter 1 to the end, I was not engaged at all. Didn't enjoy it. That's why I didn't really talk about it on this reading vlog, but I did finish that this week, so it's noteworthy here. Then I also read and finished The New York Charm by Riley Winters. Really enjoyed that one. I gave it a 4-star. I posted my rating with like all of my thoughts on Goodreads if you want to go check that out, but I think for an indie book, you really just have to keep in mind, you're not only author, but you are author, editor, publisher, and marketer. That is extremely, extremely difficult. So are there things that I'm sure a traditional publisher would have tweaked or enhanced in the story? Sure. Like, of course, that's their job though. And for an indie author, sometimes you could just tell they had the author part down, but the marketing, the publishing, the editing, maybe not so much. I think Riley killed it. I think she did a great job. And I really enjoyed this book. And it was my first second chance romance that I can think of. So for being introduced to second chance romance by an indie author, her debut novel, chef's kiss. Thank you. I needed that book this week, Riley. And then finished the week on Twisted Love, which we already talked about. Again, not great, but still, I mean, at least it was a brain off book, which is exactly what I needed this week. But anyways, thank you so much for kind of tagging along on this week-long crazy journey of mine. Of all reading vlogs, definitely not the reading vlog I thought I would have done, but I'm so glad I did because I ended up reading and just listening and engaging with so many books this week. And honestly, probably so much more than I would have had I not been vlogging, because honestly, I was kind of down in the dumps. I was not living my best life. These books really brought me out of it and kept me encouraged and just kind of kept me from just like wallowing in self-pity all the time. Instead of hating on myself or hating on the situation, I got to hate on some very hate-worthy books. It's upside down, which I feel like just kind of really just shows how I feel about that book. Anyways, moving on. If you were having a terrible week like me, I hope that this lifted your spirits a little bit. And if you had a great week, I am so beyond happy for you. And thank you so much for kind of sharing some of that sunshine here. I really appreciate you all. My channel is slowly and steadily growing. This community is growing and I see you all in the comments. Also, my other DMs, I'm on Bookstagram and Book Talk, and a lot of you have messaged me over there saying you found me first through YouTube, which is seriously, can't even describe how cool that feeling is. So thank you so much for following and supporting, and I love doing this. It really just brings me so much joy. I'm gonna stop yapping now, but thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Love you.